Power 93.7 WBLK. I'm Yasmin Young. This is the 2 to 6 Takeover, and I am joined by a very special guest. You know his designs. I'm sure you might be rocking some right now. I'm talking about Steve O, Matty Ross. How are you?
Yasmin, I'm better. I'm feeling good.
So
feeling good.
And what you're telling me, what you're sharing with me, is something that a lot of us, we may not know someone who has personally been affected by coronavirus, COVID-19. You actually got it and survived it. So talk to me about, do you know where you got it? Do you know how you got it?
I don't know exactly where I got it or how I got it. I just know that there were symptoms that started. Mm-hmm. Like second night, I had a fever, and I know the fever was like, it was crazy because I've never had a fever where my whole entire shirt was soaking wet and my pillowcases were entirely soaked.
Wow.
And then it went from that until I couldn't breathe. Mm. And it was a different I couldn't breathe. You know, like a normal cold flu, I couldn't breathe. Like, okay, but it was I couldn't breathe to, I was laying there like doubting myself, like, man, you can't really breathe. Like, it's hard for you to breathe. And that something had to be like the Holy Spirit told me, like, go to the hospital.
Wow.
And it was like I went to the hospital, and when I got there, my vitals, I took blood pressure medicine. And I think this was a lot of people are not realizing. I took my blood pressure medicine before I went to the hospital at 8 o'clock in the morning. By the time they saw me in the hospital, my blood pressure started to climb. It was 197 over 202. I started having, not only could I not breathe, but I started having intermittent chest pains.
Wow. And I've heard that is one thing, you know, a lot of people talk about the not being able to breathe, but also the chest pains. Wow. So talk to me about how long it went on.
The actual fact, 2 weeks is not enough time. 2 weeks is nowhere near, because you don't experience all of the symptoms all at once. They take place over time. So I was sick for over 3 weeks. Literally, and this virus, it drains you to the point where you're so tired that I had to literally, something kept telling me, you got to fight, you got to get up, you got to get up, you got to fight. I couldn't even get up out the bed.
Wow. So
like, this wasn't a normal, I'm sick, I'm laying down. It was a knockout. You done.
Right. Like, wow. So, okay, I really want you to talk to the people who don't take this serious, you know, who are gathering, who are having parties, who are just really being irresponsible when it comes to this, knowing that it affects, you know, the African-American community, Latinos, at way higher rates than it does, you know, for everybody else.
What I want to say to people is that be conscious, love yourself first. And you got to love yourself first to know that you can't be disrespectful to yourself by not protecting yourself. Because by not protecting yourself or taking it seriously, we're taking our whole community down with us. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to be on social media, to see the number of people is rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace stats. Like, you gotta stop and think. We can't wait for the government to save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to tell one of our friends, oh, you don't have a mask, here go a mask, go buy somebody a mask, get somebody a mask, hand sanitizer. We have to check each other, because that's the only way we're going to be safe. And all that partying and all of that other stuff, like, you don't want to have a low immune system, or you don't want to, you know, smoke so much marijuana until you get corona and you can't breathe.
Right.
It affects your respiratory system. You know, we can't stop everybody from doing what they do, because a lot of people have recreational needs. But the majority of the people that we can stop and educate, we have to let you guys know, like, this is not, our people in our community are going to suffer greatly. And I just had to bury my uncle, Yasmin. It was very difficult last week planning a funeral, because you're sitting there with a chart and everybody can't come.
Right.
And people don't understand the dynamics of everything, and it's mentally frustrating and it's draining. And this thing is draining our community, but we have to uplift each other, and we have to be proud, and we have to keep smiling. But in the midst of that, we also have to be, you know, using universal precautions.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, listen, I appreciate you sharing your story, and hopefully what you had to go through will keep somebody at home, keep them from going to a party or, gathering unnecessarily. I do want to give you a chance to plug, your designs, because you got some dope designs. You've designed for celebrities and definitely very rockable. So what's your website?
My website is Matty Ross, www.MattiRouse.com.
Well, Steve-O, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And everybody in our community, let's get this together and stay safe.